For many men, the word love sounds like the ultimate goal. From childhood, boys hear the same message repeated everywhere. Find someone who loves you. Love is what matters most. Love will solve the difficult parts of life. Movies repeat it. Music repeats it. Stories repeat it. Over time, this idea becomes deeply embedded in the way many men think about relationships. If love exists, everything else will somehow work out. But reality often shows something far more complicated. Love can exist in relationships where respect is quietly disappearing, and when respect fades away, the relationship slowly begins to change in ways many men don't notice until much later. Love is emotional. It rises and falls depending on attraction, mood, and circumstances. Some days it feels strong and intense. Other days it feels distant and uncertain. Respect is different. Respect is structural. Respect determines how people treat your time, your priorities, and your boundaries. When someone respects you, they naturally recognize that your life has direction. They recognize that your goals matter. They understand that your time has value. Respect influences behavior in subtle ways that are often more powerful than affection itself. Many men only begin to understand this difference after experiencing the opposite dynamic. At the beginning of a relationship, everything usually feels supportive and exciting. Both people are attentive. Conversations feel easy. Energy is high. During this stage, it's easy to believe that love alone is enough to carry everything forward. But the early stage of relationships often hides the true distribution of respect. People present their best version of themselves. They are patient, accommodating, and eager to create connection. That stage feels powerful because attention is everywhere. But slowly, almost invisibly, patterns begin to form. Small moments appear that reveal how respect actually operates inside the relationship. A joke about your goals that sounds playful but carries a tone of dismissal. A comment about your ambitions that feels supportive but subtly suggests they are unrealistic. A situation where your schedule becomes flexible while someone else's schedule remains fixed. None of these moments seem dramatic on their own. But patterns rarely begin with dramatic events. They begin with small signals that gradually accumulate. Over time, these signals shape the structure of the relationship. When respect is present, disagreements still happen, but they occur within boundaries. When respect weakens, those boundaries slowly dissolve. One person's priorities become negotiable while the other person's remain protected. One person adjusts more often while the other adjusts less. Eventually, the dynamic becomes uneven without anyone openly acknowledging it. Many men misunderstand this process because they interpret compromise as proof of commitment. They believe sacrificing their priorities shows loyalty. They assume giving more will eventually create appreciation. But human psychology does not always reward sacrifice the way people expect. When someone constantly abandons their own direction to maintain peace, people around them gradually begin adjusting their expectations. That person becomes easier to rely on, easier to request help from, easier to influence. And over time, their own priorities begin fading into the background. This creates a strange paradox that many men eventually notice. The more agreeable they try to be, the less their voice seems to carry weight. The more they try to avoid conflict, the less their opinions influence decisions. And the more they reshape their lives around someone else's emotional needs, the more invisible their own goals become. It's not always intentional. Often it happens naturally as people adapt to the environment around them. Respect behaves differently because it is closely tied to identity. A man who maintains his direction communicates something powerful even without speaking. His routines demonstrate discipline. His schedule reflects structure. His decisions reveal that his life is moving towards something meaningful. These signals shape how other people perceive him. When someone sees that a man values his own time and direction, they naturally begin adjusting their behavior around those boundaries. Respect does not mean becoming rigid or emotionally distant. It simply means maintaining clarity about who you are and where your life is going. A relationship built on respect allows both individuals to grow without dissolving their identities. Each person maintains their direction while sharing part of their life with someone else. Instead of replacing each other's priorities, they support them. Many men only realize the importance of respect after experiencing a relationship where love existed but respect slowly faded. At first, everything felt warm and supportive. Conversations were affectionate. Attention was consistent. But gradually the balance began shifting. One person's time became less protected. One person's ambitions became less important. Decisions started leaning in one direction more often than the other. Over time, the relationship began feeling heavy rather than energizing. When this happens, many men try to repair the imbalance by giving more. They invest more time. They provide more emotional support. They become more available. They try harder to prove loyalty and commitment. But this strategy rarely restores balance. When respect is already weakened, increasing sacrifice often accelerates the imbalance instead of fixing it. The more one person gives, the more the dynamic adapts around that pattern. A relationship built on mutual respect behaves differently. When both individuals respect each other, time remains valuable for both people. Boundaries remain visible. Personal goals are acknowledged rather than dismissed. Disagreements can exist without turning into power struggles. Respect creates stability because it recognizes the individuality of both partners. This is why some men eventually reach a surprising realization. Love feels powerful, but respect determines whether love can actually survive. Without respect, affection gradually becomes unstable. Emotions fluctuate, frustration builds, and resentment quietly grows beneath the surface. With respect, even difficult periods can be navigated without destroying the foundation of the relationship. Respect also begins internally. If a man does not take his own direction seriously, it becomes difficult for others to treat that direction with importance. Self-respect influences posture, tone of voice, routines, and decisions. It communicates that a man's life has structure beyond the relationship itself. That structure creates stability not only for him but also for the relationship around him. The most balanced relationships rarely come from people who abandon their identity. They come from individuals who bring strong identities into the partnership. Each person contributes their direction rather than replacing it. Instead of shrinking their world to maintain harmony, they expand it by supporting each other's growth and independence. In that kind of relationship, respect and affection reinforce each other. Love becomes something that grows inside a stable structure instead of something that constantly tries to compensate for instability. Both individuals maintain their direction while still building something together. This leads to an important question many men eventually ask themselves. Is love really enough if respect slowly disappears? Or does respect need to exist first in order for love to remain meaningful over time? Think about the relationships you have seen around you. How often do people stay together because of affection even when respect is clearly faded? And how often do strong relationships seem to operate with a quiet but unmistakable level of mutual respect? I'm curious how you see it. Do you think love is the foundation of a relationship? Or do you believe respect is actually the more important element that keeps everything stable in the long run? Write your thoughts in the comments. It's always interesting to see different perspectives on this topic. And if you enjoy conversations like this about male psychology, relationships, and personal direction, you can subscribe to Men's Inner Garage. There will be many more discussions like this ahead.